In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to use Webflow to rank your SaaS #1 on Google. A lot of companies fall into two different categories. One, they either have no idea how Webflow can help them with their SEO, or two, they know about their SEO features and how Webflow can benefit them, but they have no idea how to use it. Which means they're sitting on a platform that could bring them thousands of visitors every single month, but they're barely taking advantage of it. That's why I'm going to walk you through everything you need that we follow internally at our agency, from your technical SEO settings that are critical all the way to creating optimized content within the platform. And these are the same exact strategies we've used to rank hundreds and hundreds of Webflow articles #1 on Google. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to change or optimize in Webflow to bring your site in more traffic from SEO. But before we dive into any settings or features, we need to talk about why Webflow is so important for SEO. Now, if you're already using it, you probably know it's a website builder or hosting platform, but what most people don't realize is that it has built-in features to help you actually rank on Google better. Things like auto sitemap generation, clean code output, and CMS templates that make publishing SEO content incredibly efficient. Now, with that said, let me walk you through all of the SEO features you need to know in Webflow. Okay, I have a Webflow site set up here. The first thing I'm going to showcase is the CMS because this is one of the most important features for SEO. So if you go over to CMS up here, you have different CMS collections, and I'm going to showcase how to add a new CMS collection. What a CMS collection is something like blog posts or case studies, where you can create one singular template and add hundreds of items on that template by filling in dynamic tags. So in this case, let's go ahead and create a blog post collection as an example. We can type in blog articles just like this. And then down here under collection fields, you can hit add a new field and add something like rich text, which would be the blog content itself. And then we can go ahead and hit create collection just like this. And then as you add a new blog article up in the top right, you can type in the name. Let's say we're talking about the 5 best operations software. And then you would insert your blog content down here, and it would publish to look something like this. So this is a completely live article. You have the title here, you have the slug, you have a featured image, the blog date, and then you have some more fields here that I didn't show you as an example. And then you have the entire blog text just like this. And the article comes out to look like a good, well put together blog. And what you have to do is fill in these dynamic tags. So you'll need a designer to design a blog page for you. And then once you have, for example, a rich text block here, you can just connect it to the main body or the blog content as we did in the other example and fill in these tags dynamically. And then the way you actually edit your technical SEO on a CMS collection page or any regular page is by clicking on the pages icon over here. And then you can hover over the page that you want to edit, and then the settings gear will pop up. And then you can hit edit page settings just like that. And I'm going to walk you through the top settings you need to optimize in this settings page. So the first thing is that you want to make sure the publish settings tick is switched on and that the access is public. If you want this to be a public page, you could also change it to be password protected. Then scrolling down under the title tag section, you want to insert the dynamic tag for that given CMS collection. So in this case, the blog name is the title tag, and then we have the branded name right here. And then the blog summary is the meta description. So the way you do this is you go ahead and hit add field like this, and then you're going to scroll through and look for where your field is for meta descriptions. In this case, it is blog summary. And then scrolling down to open graph settings, you want to make sure this is the same as the SEO title tag, same as the SEO meta description, and then the open graph image is the thumbnail image of that said blog. And then you want to make sure to exclude these pages from site search results is ticked off. Otherwise, if you tick this on, it's going to add a no index tag, is a tag that excludes it from search results. So basically no one can see it when they search up the keyword, no matter how far they scroll. So you want to make sure this is unticked. And then for search title and search description, you can hit same as SEO title, same as SEO description, same as open graph image URL down here. You can keep RSS feed settings off. That's not really a big deal. And then when it comes to schema markup, this is pretty important. We have custom made schema markup for this article, but with Webflow nowadays, you can auto generate schema markup. So just go ahead and hit this button, generate schema markup. And then you want to make sure you run through the settings and that they're all accurate. But the point is you want some sort of schema with dynamic tags in here so that you can get better crawlability and performance on your site. And then make sure you always hit save after changing all of your settings. Now, when most people set up a Webflow site, they skip this next step entirely, and it's extremely important to not skip. And that's setting up their technical SEO settings. Technical SEO is the backbone of everything, and it's extremely important in Webflow that you have the right settings in place so that you have a good foundation for your content, and you can actually be crawled and have a high performing site so that you rank better on Google and other search engines. Now, let me show you exactly which settings you need. So if you go up to the Webflow logo right here, click on it and then hit site settings just like that. So on the left hand side, you want to come down to the SEO section, and I'm going to walk you through all of these settings. So the first one is Webflow subdomain indexing. You want this to be ticked off just like that. And you want to make sure it says that Webflow subdomain indexing is disabled. Under your robots.txt, you want this to be blank. You can exclude certain pages if you have a very in-depth technical SEO setup. If you want none of your site blocked from Google and Bing's crawlers to crawl your site, you want to leave this completely blanked. Nowadays, Webflow has some different types of search crawler. Under traffic controls, you want to make sure allow search engine crawlers is on and allow AI bots is on. And then you want to make sure that remove sitemap.xml from robots.txt is off. So make sure this is ticked off. This is basically saying that your sitemap will be non-crawlable and you want it to be crawlable. So you want to make sure this is off. Then under sitemap, auto generate sitemap, you want to make sure this is published. This means that you don't have to add pages to your sitemap. As soon as you publish new content live, it will automatically update your sitemap. So if I change one of these settings, I want to make sure I hit save. And then after hitting save on all of those, I'm going to go up here and hit publish. Under Google Site Verification, you can ignore this. And then under global canonical tag URL, you want to add your base domain as your global canonical URL tag. So in this case, it is the root domain, which is typically your homepage. And then this one is a bit optional, but LLMs.txt files, some research say they're beneficial. Some research says they're pretty much doing nothing. But overall, I personally recommend adding an LLMs.txt file. This video is not going to go through that, but if you want to upload your LLMs.txt file, you can upload that right here. Now back up to the top on the left hand side, let's go under the publishing section. Now under this section, the only things that matter for SEO is going to be your production section. So you should have two domains in here. You want to make your www.domain.com your default domain. So you want to hit make default. In this case, it's already the default. And what that is going to do is have Webflow redirect all of the regular URLs to the default URL. And under your global canonical URL tag in the previous section, you also want to make sure the www. Is under that global canonical URL tag. Then scrolling down to advanced publishing options, you want to make sure a few different settings are turned on. So minify HTML, minify CSS, and minify JS. This is going to increase your site performance, and overall that will benefit your SEO. When it comes to asynchronously load JS and per page CSS, take that up with your developer. It doesn't do as much for SEO purposes. Now, if you want to rank on Google without having to set up Webflow yourself or learn technical SEO, you can book a call below using the first link in the description. We've helped dozens of SaaS companies rank their Webflow articles #1 on Google and drive demos on a consistent monthly basis, like Growify, who we helped rank #1 in just 2 months. So if you'd like to see if we could do the same for you, you can book a call below. But either way, having the right technical SEO settings is just the start, because now you actually need to create and publish content that ranks. So what I'm going to do now is walk you through the entire step-by-step process of creating a new site, CMS collection, and creating your blog template that's ready for you to publish content. So coming into the site builder here, you can start with a new template or a brand new blank site. I would personally recommend starting with some sort of template. It will have a lot of the elements already built out for you, but I'm going to start with the blank site since I'm only going to be showing you the CMS collection, the blog template setup. So let's go ahead and hit create site just like this. So we have a perfectly blank site right here now, and as shown before earlier in the video, we're going to head up to the CMS collection button up here. We're going to hit this plus icon to add a new collection, and we're actually going to use this feature that Webflow has, which is hitting the blog post collection template, and it's going to automatically add all of these fields for us. So I'm going to run you through them real quick. Firstly, the collection name is blog posts. The slug is going to be /post. I recommend /blog personally. So you can type in blog just like that. And then it's going to have the name, which is the title. So you can actually change this to title to make it easier. And then you have the post body, which is rich text. I recommend changing this field to being required. And then the post summary, I would rather call this the meta description, just like that. And you'll see why later. Keep this multiple line and the field is required. And then you have the main image. You have the thumbnail image. I recommend making the main image required. And then you have this featured section. This depends on your template. You can actually just delete this for now. And then the color you can delete for now. Go ahead and hit create collection. And then we're going to create another collection, and you're going to add an authors tab. So you can type in author just like this, and then you can keep that slug the exact same. The only field we're going to add is going to be an image. And then this is going to be the author image, just like that. You can make this field required. And then you can go ahead and hit create collection on that. So now you can go back under blog post, hit the settings icon, add a new field, and this field is going to be a reference field. So go ahead and hit reference and then select a collection to reference, and that's going to be authors. And then you can make the label author as well and hit this field is required and save field. And then lastly, I recommend moving the post body to the bottom, and I'll show you why later. It just makes it easier to publish. So go ahead and hit save collection just like that. And then under the design tab up here, if you hit pages, you'll see that you have two CMS collections created like this. If you hit blog post template, you can see that the template is completely empty. So what I'm going to use in this video is going to be templates from the Webflow marketplace. So this is for people who don't have a designer. So I'm just going to skip over the design setup, and I'm going to show you where you can actually find the templates. And I'm just going to show you the CMS collection setup. So to super quickly, if you know, open up a dashboard tab, you can go under libraries and templates, click marketplace. And then for templates, you can hit browse Webflow templates. And then there's a lot of different categories here. In this case, we're just going to search up blog templates. And then over here, we're going to hit the free button and just look for free templates for the sake of this video. And most of these templates should have some sort of blog template. We're just going to choose one that looks decent. So this one looks pretty decent. We see that they do have a blog, and if we click on it, the blog looks all right. So we're going to use this for free. And then we're going to hit create site up here like that. You can name it whatever you want. So we can say blog template, copy paste, create site. And then it's going to take us directly into the blog template. What we're going to do is literally copy and paste everything over. So you can open up the pages tab here, look for their CMS collection where their blog template is. So in this case, it's articles template. And what I'm going to do is literally copy the entire page wrapper over just like this. Then I'm going to paste it in, and it's going to say for pasting cross sites, we had to unlink some components, drop some links, and remove some bindings. So that is completely okay. And now we'll edit everything to match our content and to dynamically fill in our content. So let me walk you through that step by step. So coming back to this template over here, what we can see is that the author tag is here. They have a reading time. We're going to change that to the date. They have the image here at the title. So we're going to go up here, go to the heading to start. You can hit the settings icon over here or travel over to the settings button over here. And then you can hit the purple plus on the header text, and then change that to the title. So it automatically fills in as the title. And then under the image, you can hit the settings, or you go to the settings over here and hit the purple plus and change that to the main image. And then for the author image, you can do the same, and then hit this drop down under the author, hit author image. Then for the text, do the exact same thing, go under author and hit the name button. And then for this text, it says reading time, but we're going to change this to the date. You can hit the purple plus, and then you can hit the created on date. And then for this entire rich text section, you want to make sure you go under where it has rich text. It's a rich text element. You can hit settings on that, hit the purple plus, and then under blog post, you should see you have a post body, and then it's going to fill in just like that. And then in this case, it came with the blog quote wrapper, so we're going to delete that. And then to continue on, under the collection list wrapper, you want to double click that. And then if you have a collection list down here, something like, read more blogs or check out more blogs, you can connect this CMS to the main blog post CMS collection that you have here. Go ahead and hit blog post. And then once you have blogs filled in, this will make more sense, and it will be able to kind of dynamically include those blogs. But right now it's empty, so it shows nothing. So that is pretty much it. Now we're going to add an example blog to show you what it would look like when it's all filled out. So under blog posts, you can go up to new blog post in the top right, and then you can fill in all of this information. I'll show you how it looks, but the first thing I'm going to do is paste in a body section. I just went ahead and created like the most simplistic blog example using ChatGPT, so you can ignore the quality of the blog, but I'm just here to show you an example. So the title of the post is going to be the keyword you want to rank for. So in this case, we want to rank for operations management. So we can put that in the title, and then the slug's going to get auto-filled, and you want the slug to be the exact keyword as well. The meta description, you want to be under 160 characters. In a what is article, so like what is operations management, you want the meta description to be kind of definition based. So in this case, we'll just take this line as an example. You don't want to really just use the lines from the content, but this seems like a good meta description on the surface. Then under main image is where you want to add your featured image. We use tools like freepik.com as well as ChatGPT AI image generator. We mix it up per client and per SEO market. But essentially you want to have a nice featured image for your blog. In this case, I have the most random stock image that has nothing to do with operations management, but I'm just going to drag and drop it into the main image section just like that. And then the same thing for the thumbnail image. If you want that to be different, you can use a different image, but in this case, I want it to be the exact same. And then we're going to hit create draft really quickly and head over to the authors tab. Under the author, we're going to add new author, and it's going to be myself, let's say. So we'll say Adam H, just like that. We'll keep the slug to just be Adam. And then for the author image, you can go ahead and add a picture of yourself. So in this case, I'm just going to use this stock image again. And then on this one, you can hit create draft, and then you can actually publish it. In my case, I can't publish it yet because I haven't published my site, but queuing to publish is the same exact thing as publishing. In your case, you want to go ahead and hit publish on the author. Now under this blog, I can hit the author, and what that's going to do is automatically fill in my image and my name. And then under the post body, we have the entire blog, and then we're going to go ahead and hit publish now. Again, in this case, I can't yet, so I'm just going to hit queue to publish. Now you can go ahead and hit this little eyeball, which is a preview. And then as you can see, all of the data is filled in here that we set it up for. So the rich text is pulling the rich text, the date, the author name, the author image, and the featured image, as well as the title. Now the design of this looks a lot poorer than it should, but this is again just showing you how to set up the backend of the CMS collection and how it dynamically adds into the template. And that's exactly how you can use Webflow to rank your pages #1 on Google. But the thing is, unless you know how to write content that ranks and converts, none of what we just covered is going to matter. Because in the end, the quality of your content is what's going to make or break your SEO system. So if you want to see a video breaking down how to write high converting SEO blogs that rank #1 in 2026, you can watch the video here, and I'll see you over there.